WhiskyJason here, and this is a video about Tipperary, the rising 11-year-old single malt Irish whiskey, batch number 1, 47%. All right, so there was 1,916 bottles. 1916, very important date in Ireland, the Easter revive, the revolt, the revolution, and I have bottle 336. A little bit of history. Oh, let me first fill my glass. All right, so we have a whiskey expert named Stuart Nickerson. He's from Scotland. He has a son. He has a daughter, excuse me, Jennifer Nickerson. Now, Jennifer falls in love in Scotland with a so-called Liam Ahern. Mr. Ahern comes from Ireland, and his daddy, Garrett Ahern, has a farm in Ireland. And now, Mr. Stuart Nickerson and Mr. Garrett Ahern have the wonderful idea, let's start a whiskey distillery, like 35 other people have had in the last 2 or 3 years in Ireland. The fastest growing whiskey market of the world. So, what they said, they did, and they now have permission to build a distillery on the farm of Mr. Ahern. Well, in the meantime, they want to, of course, create a brand image, and so they sourced whiskey. Ta-da! We have no idea officially where this comes from. This is the first bottle from the boutique selection of Tipperary, and it was launched March 16th. And they took 6 bourbon casks, they married them together, filled them up using the water from their farm, the Ballardoney farm in Ireland. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to first nose my nice little whiskey here, and then I'm going to taste it and give a review. So, I've done over 300 some videos in German, and normally as WhiskyJason I only make English videos if I can't find anything online, and I couldn't find anything in English online on YouTube about Tipperary, and therefore I decided to make this video. So, a nice nose for an Irish whiskey. A little bit of vanilla is in there, but also a little bit of citrus fruits. Let's get rid of the word citrus. I have more of a pear. Very, very light. I have the grain, I have the pear, I have a little bit of wood. Very smooth and mild. 11 years in a bourbon cask. They do not say first fill cask, so I'm going to have to guess that that's a second fill, maybe even a third fill cask. Who knows? Now, for those of you that are not really familiar here with the Scottish and Irish way of doing things, is in America we have our bourbon. Yay, America, I'm an American. Live in Germany, but hey, I'm still American. And in America, you have to have first fill casks, call it bourbon. So what do? After they use those casks at Jack Daniels, Jim Beam, and whoever else, they send those casks over here to Europe, preferably to Ireland or Scotland. And they reuse these casks. And so if you have a first fill bourbon cask, it means it's been used once in America. And for the first time, since it was bourbon cask, it's being used in Ireland, first fill, even though actually it's a second fill. I personally think that this terminology, first fill bourbon cask, is a little bit confusing, but hey, I can't change it. So they were using first or maybe second fill bourbon casks here. They don't say exactly. But yet it's a very, very smooth, nice nose. Let's taste this. Mm-hmm. Wow, nice. 47%, which is a little bit more than normal for Irish whiskey. Irish whiskey is usually around 40%. So 47% is nice. It enters your mouth, and first of all, you have a nice smooth, grainy, fruity experience. And a little bit of alcohol enters the picture, plus a little bit of wood. The alcohol remains and the wood changes a tiny little bit. I'm a very visual person. I actually picture things. I'm sorry. And this wood turns into a little bit of a tannin. A tannin are these bitter substances that wood brings with it. And this bitter is a little bit at the end, and it's, for my personal taste, a little bit too much. I prefer a more smooth and a nice, balanced whiskey. And just to read the tasting notes, what it says here, the nose is rich and sweet. Basically what I said. Honey and vanilla with hints of grain and a touch of underlying fruits. I even named the fruit. For me, it was pears. The mouth has a smooth, creamy texture with vanilla to the fore, chocolate and notes of toasted wood develop, followed by lightly drying tannins and a peppery spice in the warming finish. I have no idea how this is supposed to taste like chocolate, but I did everything else I got, but not the chocolate. And the finish lingers, and I really must admit, it's long and pleasant. It's a great finish. It's really, really long and nice. So you can take a sip, wait 3 or 4 minutes, take another sip. It's fantastic. A hint of almonds married with spice and loiters on the palate, the perfect Irish whiskey. Well, perfect is always marketing, but it is very good, actually. And the almonds I don't really get either unless they're more of a burnt, bitter type of almonds. All right, WhiskyJason here. Whiskey from the viewpoint of an American in Germany. That's the name of my title. That's the title of my whiskey channel in German. 63 euros is what I paid for it over here in Germany, which translates into maybe about 80 bucks in the States. I think it went for 75 pounds in England, which is also a heap of money for just one bottle of Irish whiskey, which was not even distilled themselves. All right, when Tipperary finally gets around to having the distillery built, it's another 3 years before they have the first whiskey on the market. And then to have a 10 or 11-year-old whiskey like this is going to be the year 2030 by the time you can have something of this quality. Who knows what happens then? All right, very, very good. So, WhiskyJason here. Please like my videos. Hey, thank you very much. Please subscribe. And if you have any comments, please add those comments down there. 2 more videos will be coming in the series from the Tipperary whiskey that they have now brought out, the watershed, as well as the Knockmeal Downs, the mountain range close to the farm that you can see when you're there. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much also for liking and subscribing. Hope to see you soon. Bye.